DD, stop! Snake.
Sorry. Guess I've been away a while.
Don't be such a stranger. It's a bad example for the men. And he gets pretty lonely, too. DD, come!
Dear God, it's the blood. DD can't get enough. So of course we now have a new picture of D-Dog. So today we're going to start on the mission that I have postponed for quite a while. It's our last mission until we have to go on down to Africa. Back up, back down. Rather infamous for a lot of early game players because it's a fairly long and tedious mission. Also, let's pretend I deployed there instead of cutting me deploying somewhere else and then changing my mind.
Boss, your objective is to eliminate as many enemy combat vehicles as you can. For this mission, we're backup for the guerrillas' offensive. That means our mission isn't over until theirs is. Keep an eye on the remaining time. Also bear in mind that you'll fail the mission if you don't take out a single vehicle. As for payment, the more vehicles, the bigger our paycheck. So give them a real fireworks show.
Marker placed.
So, at the very beginning of this mission, if we want to 100% it,
On your map. Once you've spotted incoming reinforcements, their location will be added to your iDroid 2.
we have a lot of shit to do. So first thing we gotta do is I've marked 2 locations. We definitely want to get to A, ASAP. Make sure you get a stun grenade. Well, I guess you don't need one, but gotta get to these 4 guys here. The stun grenade makes it significantly more simple. Stun grenade is basically your flashbang. Just chuck it in right in between all these guys here. And then be prepared to enter the snake zone as he goes from one to the other. Seems Big Boss is a low-level teleportation mage. Get all of them.
Report from the intel team. The targets are now on the move. I sent their predicted route to your iDroid. Check your map.
Get them all extracted. That is one of these side missions. Another side mission is getting all the prisoners here. This prisoner in particular, if those 4 guards catch up to him, they will kill him. Now we have to go back to our main mission, which is to get those 2 vehicles that are currently glowing yellow on our HUD. Thing is, we could go and grab this one right up here that's nearby, but we don't want to do that. We instead want to immediately rush to this guy, because last run I went for that other one instead, and this guy got out of the mission area. Gotta get up close, shoot a gun, so he stops. Get him extracted right before he gets up to the outpost just ahead.
Target extraction confirmed. That's cut down the enemy mechanized unit's force strength.
Honestly, I am quite surprised I didn't get to, I didn't alert that guard post since it was so
Check
close.
your iDroid for that predicted route.
When Quiet first came here, she demonstrated her marksmanship against that enemy fighter plane. It showed she was much more than your everyday crack shot. Hitting a moving target from 600 meters is a challenge, but it's possible with the right training and equipment. But shooting down that missile, that's a world apart from taking out a soldier on patrol. The chopper and the missile were in motion, meaning different vectors at high velocity in 3-dimensional space, and she shot an unguided bullet that had to fight air resistance and gravity. All that while the chopper was taking evasive maneuvers. Some of the best target leading I've ever known. She has a superhuman sense of spatial awareness. You put her in a fighter jet, and she'd be an ace right off the bat. Hell, your judgment was top class too. Realizing she could take out that pilot, that's quick thinking. You and Quiet could make a hell of a team. You'd be damn near unstoppable.
Belongs to Diamond Dogs now. Boss, we spotted a 4-wheel drive transporting a prisoner. It's not part of the mission. Do you think you can bust him loose? Just if you have the time to spare.
So the best way to do this mission is to post up here, because this is where all the vehicles go and come from. It's great to ambush the vehicles here. Also, my loadout is a hell of a lot of deployables. EMN mines will, as we've seen earlier, shocks the vehicles and keeps it in place, allowing us to run up and Fulton it. We got decoys to make vehicles stop.
You can check their predicted route on your iDroid. Boss, that prisoner we rescued provided some intel. We now know the location of a hidden enemy staging area. Check it on your iDroid.
The staging area is inside of an outpost that lets you grab a vehicle earlier than it driving off. I ignore it.
Quiet is still in her cell. Only a few staff are authorized to go near her. She hasn't tried anything funny, but that's what bothers me most.
In particular?
What does she have to gain by coming to Mother Base? I first thought she was under orders from Cypher to take you out. She didn't manage it in Afghanistan, so round 2 happens here. So I lighten the guard. And that lock on her door is a joke.
You gave her an opening. And?
Well, she hasn't killed you yet. And I hate to say it, but she's had plenty of chances.
You made me the bait.
Poisonous bait. What better? Anyway, she didn't bite. Quiet is keeping her silence. So I'm left with no idea again what she's doing here. We tried communicating with her through writing. That didn't work either. Whether she's illiterate, dyslexic, or just plain stubborn, she won't cooperate. I just don't get it. If she tried to contact the outside, it'd be picked up by our counterintelligence net, but it's clean. There's no sign she's had contact with the staff, the base facilities, nothing. She's almost got the men wanting her to try something, just to find out what she's up to. And she's in there putting on the failed soldier look, all downcast eyes and defeated sighs. But she doesn't kill herself. She can't be trying to leave Cypher and surrender to us.
So what's the verdict?
This may sound optimistic, but here's how I see it. Quiet came here to fulfill some objective. To kill you, maybe to destroy Diamond Dogs. Whatever it was, before she could do it, something changed her mind. Yes. When I look at her, I sense hesitation.
You think she'd betray Cypher?
Can't say for sure. I prefer the ones that talk. Anyway, we'll keep her under watch. And we're also looking into those special abilities of hers. You'll be the first to know if something comes up. Why not look in on her yourself once in a while?
Right.
So right, we got a hell of a lot of equipment here. Decoys, EMN mines, smoke grenades. I had to carry a lot of stuff because one of these side missions for this mission is to not resupply at all.
Extraction confirmed. That's cut down the enemy mechanized unit's force strength.
Also cutting it really close there. I'm honestly surprised that vehicle did not actually notice the other one being pulled in.
Apparently its cargo is something pretty powerful. What do you think? Should we make them share? Alright, target extracted. Sorry, Reds. It belongs to Diamond Dogs now.
Also, the camo I'm wearing today is the Ground Zero sneaking suit.
Check your iDroid for the details.
And so besides the original 6 vehicles, we also got 2 other ones that pop out. The 4-wheel drive I got earlier, as well as this transport truck right here that carries some new weaponry. Unfortunately, horse poop does not trip up these vehicles. I guess D-Horse's stuff isn't that potent. Thankfully, I have that mine there just in case. The mine's very useful when it comes to disabling these vehicles as opposed to the armored vehicles because the guard gets knocked out and falls out of the vehicle, unlike the other ones where the turret just tries to find where you're at. Now, do note you have to jump inside the vehicle to get the weapon. If you just attract the truck, you will not get the weapon. Or maybe it falls to the world, I don't know. But it is a multi-warhead rocket launcher. Also, Kaz kind of loses his shit on the last few minutes here. And sucks, there's 2 vehicles right by one another, so it's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass to try and get them both taken out at once.
1 minute remaining. What's wrong with you? Move!
Kaz gets very unhappy. Should you take a little too long. Now, one thing with this mission, it talks about the rebel guerrillas. I'm pretty disappointed that, again, we don't get to see multi-faction fighting in this game like we do in 4. Also, unfortunately, my plan didn't work out too well. I was hoping by deploying a few decoys, they would have focused on it instead of me. And also, there goes my perfect stealth run. But hey, there we go. 6 out of 6 vehicles extracted.
Cut down the enemy mechanized unit's force strength. All targets eliminated. Boss, you were like a man possessed. The guerrillas' offensive is still in progress, but our work here is done. Exfiltrate the mission area.
Unfortunately, it's not that easy. Someone noticed us.
Damn it. Soviet reinforcements incoming. Tanks and a gunship. And you're the target. Looks like we pushed the Soviets a little too far. Boss, those Soviets are a threat to the guerrillas. You can bet there'd be a bonus in it if you take them out. That said, the mission objectives are complete, so you can leave the area if you want. Your choice, boss.
So we can leave if we want, but fuck that. Let's go ahead and get us some extra GMP. So I've never actually used this rocket launcher before, so I'm gonna embarrass myself here in a minute.
A single burst from his machine gun can cut a man in half. Tread carefully, boss.
And here I am wondering why it's not, you know, locking on us, and I figured, oh, it says auto homing, so I just shoot in the general direction, the missiles will retarget mid-flight. Okay, well maybe I need to get them closer. No, these things just have a really short lock-on range. But I went to run off and I realized one of the tanks actually spawned up here. So we'll go with our usual method of stopping vehicles, which of course is to run up right behind it and then shoot at it. Also, I'm using a slightly different gun this time. You get different upgrades as you upgrade a weapon. You get different slots for it. This particular weapon not only does it have a silencer, but also has a light machine gun barrel, letting it fire way faster, and it also has a bigger magazine upgrade. Here's one of the other prisoners here inside of a Riverside. It actually took me quite a while to find these prisoners because every guide I look up tells you where the prisoner spawns and not where the prisoner ends up going after a point. Now we're finally going to take out the gunship here. Boom.
Stay low and crawl along the ground.
Also, I brought D-Dog along instead of D-Horse now since I'm trying to find prisoners, and it's really fucking hard to find them out here in the middle of the desert.
The gunship is down.
Also rather annoying is that we also have the tanks patrolling around. All the guards in every single base in the area is currently on alert. There we go. Thankfully D-Dog can find people even while driving around in cars. This prisoner originally spawns at our landing zone when we first appeared, but since I opted to go after the guards looking for that one prisoner at the very beginning, I didn't find her, and she wound up all the way down south. Even further southwest is where another prisoner is at, inside this building here. You might remember from mission, I believe, Angel with Broken Wings. This is where a prisoner was before in that mission as well. Guy has some good hearing too, because he heard Snake from the outside and said, "Hey, you."
Don't try to take down a gunship from the front. You won't win in a head-to-head shootout. Try to get behind it and take it down with missiles.
Once again showing off the rather disappointing codec calls in this game, where the your teammates kind of give you non-information. Also, my horrible aiming with the tranquilizer. Snake's ability to pull guys from a solid foot away. But again, trying to grab all 6 prisoners, extracting all of them, extracting every vehicle. I'm cutting it really short here with the Fulton grenades. Came across another tank here. We're going to use the stun grenade because a stun grenade makes noise, and that's what I'm banking for here, without giving away my position that the gun or the rifle would do. So far so good. I was kind of hoping he would investigate the explosion, but instead he just looked at it and then drove off. We'll just chuck another one out of the way and then run up to him, get my rifle out just in case he decides to start driving away so I can do the shooting trick. But hey, it all worked out in the end. And then finally, we're going to go back to Waksin, I believe was the base name, outpost, where we found the Bionics Engineer. And here we're going to find our last prisoner as well as the last tank. Feel free to skip through these points to see each event as it happens. Otherwise, enjoy this cassette tape call.
It wasn't just Cypher. Back in the Caribbean, every eye in the world was turned on us. A private army, just a bunch of guys with guns, in possession of a nuke? Why wouldn't they be uncomfortable?
And that's why you made sure the inspection happened.
Well, I thought our best move was to prove to the UN through the IAEA that we had no nuke. Of course, I was against us having it in the first place, but that was Snake's decision.
The boss wasn't responsible.
Well, don't get me wrong, I still believed in Snake. I thought I was making the best decision for all of us, that's all. I figured we should get a third party to exonerate us before proof of the nuke did get out. And who better to do that than an organization with international authority?
So the truth is, you took it upon yourself to agree to an inspection arranged by the UN. Only the inspection was a ruse, and Cypher's strike force, XOF, showed up instead.
I had no idea that would happen.
Enough bullshit!
Oh, sure, like I could have known. You know, I was just trying to prove our innocence to the world. What's wrong with that?
We're not interested in the excuses you've thought up. The truth is objective.
Just see it from my point of view.
You led XOF to the control tower. They seized it, giving them complete control over the base. Moments later, they detonated C4 on the strut legs. Anyone who'd managed to survive was hunted down by the assault force and their choppers.
You can't believe I did that on purpose.
That was the end of Mother Base. But it wasn't the end for you.
How can you... Look, think about it. I lost something too. I built Zeke and it got buried underwater. I am a victim.
That raises the big questions. Why were you the only one spared? You got away without a scratch. Why did Strangelove leave the base on the eve of the inspection? You two were close.
Strangelove?
And how did you manage to build something that surpasses Zeke in every way? Because you did everything they told you. You're the only one who didn't lose a thing. That is the truth.
I was taken away against my will. Skullface forced me to do his research these past 9 years. He used me. I lost 9 years.
9 years. We all lost 9 years. It wasn't just you.
I suppose blaming me makes you feel better, does it? But who's gonna give me back all the time I lost?
You're not getting anything back.
You're not a victim here, Emmerich. You're the perpetrator.
I didn't know anything.
Nobody can back that up.
Yeah, all the evidence is at the bottom of the ocean.
You know the hardest man to break. The type who's fooling himself. That takes time. It's easier to live a convenient lie than a painful truth. Is that the piece you've chosen, Doc?
I'm not lying.
Of course. Just let me check one or two things. On that day, you were in the control tower with them. Lucky you. That's how you got out unscathed. And you escaped on one of their choppers. Only you, right before the base went under.
They had me blindfolded the whole time. I've never been so scared. The whole flight, I thought they'd kill me. But thinking of you kept me going. My comrades, all the way.
And?
There was a plane journey, and then we traveled by road. When they finally took off the blindfold, I was in kind of a warehouse, on the floor. Afghanistan, it was that research lab. I couldn't believe they'd taken me halfway around the world. And soon enough, he came.
Skullface.
He's the one who's really behind that Mother Base attack. He forced me into that research.
What kind of research?
He told me to build a bipedal walking tank for the Soviet Union. Like Peace Walker. A system that could fire an ICBM-class nuclear weapon. That's how the Sahelanthropus project got started.
Sahelanthropus.
Those AI weapons I'd made in Costa Rica were like toys by comparison. A whole world apart from reptilian four-legged crawling and that ridiculous hunched-over bipedal waddling. My design evolved. To the dawn of mankind, Sahelanthropus, the first steps towards humanity. An upright bipedal weapon system. Originally, Sahelanthropus was going to be a manned weapons platform. I designed a cockpit in its head, and I planned to fill it with water as a buffering agent.
Like how Paz modified Zeke for human control.
Don't compare me to some amateur. I designed it for human control from the beginning. The problem was miniaturizing the posture control AI. You remember the reptile pod?
The AI that controlled your unmanned weapons.
Attaching it externally makes it vulnerable, so this time I wanted it beneath the armor. Meaning I had to make the AI smaller. I got it down to less than a tenth the size without any loss in computation speed. But it was still too big for the cockpit. There wasn't enough room for the pilot. If I made the head bigger, its body would have to be bigger to support it. Too big to be practical. In the end, human piloting was taken off the table. I tested a remote control system too, but there was the time lag and I wasn't satisfied with its precision either. Plus, it would be useless if the enemy jammed it. So next, I went back to trying an AI-only system. To do that, I had the AI pods recovered from Nicaragua. This was a hybrid AI, a combination of Peace Walker's reptile and mammal pods. The only AIs that had ever successfully operated an unmanned nuclear weapon system.
Really? You'd need some help to get that working. Expert help.
Did you work with someone?
I worked alone.
You did that yourself.
That's the thing. The AI didn't pan out in the end either. But I did finally get Sahelanthropus walking by folding over its upper body to lower its center of gravity. The first upright bipedal locomotive weapon system in the history of mankind. I guess technically it falls into the anthropoid ape category.
I don't see the benefit of having it stand taller.
On terrain with significant differences in elevation like Afghanistan, you need a body that's vertically adaptable. That also lets it attack from long range while using mountain ridges for cover. So, making it walk upright was the most important factor in giving it superior height capability. As the name suggests, that was the whole point of Sahelanthropus. But I was being pushed for results. Having the AI mounted externally would have been the fastest way to get it working. I just needed more data so it could maintain its balance. But Skullface refused to wait. He dismissed the idea of AI control and took Sahelanthropus away from me before I could finish it.
But it was walking when it came after you.
That's just it. I don't understand how Skullface got it to move upright, without a pilot or an AI. And walking at that speed, too. It's beyond anything I could have imagined. This is like the Wright brothers making it to the moon. I'm just as clueless as you are.
So this Sahelanthropus, where is it now?
I have no idea. All my experiments took place at that cave. I've never seen it anywhere else. Besides, it's still just an incomplete prototype at this point, and nothing but a paper tiger. Even if it can walk, it's far from being a viable weapons platform. It wouldn't be useful in actual battle.
Emmerich will remain here at Mother Base for now, but not as a member of Diamond Dogs. I still don't trust him. That work for you?
Fine by me. He can't be allowed any contact with staff either.
Yeah. A lot of the guys would love some payback for 9 years ago. We still need him alive. But we have to restrict his movements. He can only go where we tell him. And of course, the interrogations will continue. He worked for that skull bastard for nearly a decade. He still has more to tell us.
How long are we gonna press him?
If our investigation shows he really had nothing to do with the attack, we'll reconsider his place here. But I don't expect that to happen. Remember that water tank-shaped object in Emmerich's lab in the Soviet base camp? The thing that started talking to you like a possessed answering machine. That was a pod built for housing the AI used to control unmanned weapons. You remember, back in '74 in Costa Rica. It was in those machines you fought there. They were designated Pupa, Chrysalis, Cocoon, and Basilisk, and each of them was fitted with an AI unit called a reptile pod. Emmerich created it. It mainly handled the machine's posture control and autonomous behavior. But the Basilisk, aka Peace Walker, also featured a second AI pod. That one was called the Mammal Pod, and it was created by Dr. Strangelove. She tried to recreate the boss's personality through the Mammal Pod, but you pulled out its memory boards. That's when it transferred its own functions to its reptile pod. Just like a human brain compensating for damage by using the remaining healthy parts. The result was a unique entity, a hybrid of the reptile and the mammal. It sank to the bottom of Lake Nicaragua with Peace Walker. But apparently they salvaged it and transported it to that lab. Don't let it deceive you, Snake. It may sound like the boss, but it has neither a personality nor a will. Like Emmerich says, it's just a machine.
Ooh boy.
Complete, boss.
B rank, right? Wait, what? I got a fucking S rank? Despite having shit accuracy taken 45 minutes, getting hit 25 times, and alerting the guards 4 different times? Damn. I guess this mission ain't that bad after all. And at this point, our heroism is so good that pretty much we're getting A's and A pluses all the fucking time now. I really don't have to worry too much about getting bad recruits anymore. This also means I can be significantly more lethal than I have been. And there's the Wall of Shame, bunch of rank C's.
Side ops list updated.
So that does it now here in Afghanistan. Next up we'll be heading over to Africa, but
Please select a mission.
we do still have quite a bunch of side ops here to do in Afghanistan, so the next video will just be me doing Afghanistan side missions, and also showing the rest of the cassette tapes that I couldn't show in this video, mostly having to do with what to expect in Africa. And also I'll probably showing off the mother base side ops as well. Before I go, here's just showing off that you can indeed Fulton yourself by using a cargo crate. Not too shabby. So I know you're always alone in here, so I got you some friends. I hope you enjoy them. They'll even talk to you. I know no one likes to talk to you much, so I hope they're good for you. I got my own friend right here. He's nice. So I guess I'll see you around. I guess I'll see you around. I guess I'll see you around. I guess I'll see you